This is where you realize number one, you're either a winner or a loser. Look, I 50x my income when I changed my life. I'm doing better than everyone else I know. No, I'm not even joking.
Oh, the camera's not even on. There we go. Hi, everybody. Hello. Oh my God, Bubba is KO'd. What's up, baby? Let me just adjust the camera. Oh, there we go. So cute. Oh, sleepy baby. Tough day. Sleeping all day. What's up, everybody? How are we doing? Hello, hello. Okay. What are we saying? Aaron says, I am ready to cook up some wealth. You know what? That's the attitude we need. As always, we are here to get rich. So welcome back. Harrison says, hand raised, wallet open, because I used to be tired from being poor, but now I'm ready to get tired from being rich. You know what? That's the attitude I like to see.
I was exhausted being a loser. Now I'm exhausted being a winner.
I'm ready to be exhausted being a winner as well. So I'm glad that we're all here in this together. Today on the menu, we have our President's Choice Pineapple Coconut Sparkling Water. I don't have fake nails, so I can't even do the influencer tappy thing. But, guys, I think we're going to be going back to the Soda Stream next week. Pablo finally went to the store and replaced the cylinder, so now I have no excuse to buy canned water. Sigh. Pablo, you know what the beverage is. It's the last one from the fridge. I did happen to leave you the sugar-free 7-Up if you're interested in a little carbonated canned beverage. I saved it just for you. Okay, Aaron, you might know the answer to this. We were at the convenience store the other day, and that's my weakness. That's where I buy many beverages that I wouldn't otherwise buy because I don't want to commit to 12 of something gross. I saw sugar-free strawberries and cream Dr. Pepper. Have you tried it? Is it good? Let me know, because I was this close. And instead I went with a diet caffeine-free root beer because I knew. Something about, I don't know if you guys have A&W in the US, because I know it's a Canadian restaurant, I believe. Their root beer, so good. So good. Love me a diet A&W root beer. Pablo says, I can send over a Soda Stream drink. I have a President's Choice pineapple coconut sparkling water, but thank you. Bubba might need some water in a little bit, although I will give him my water if I have to. He's so sleepy. Also, I am getting over a cold, so if my voice sounds weird or I'm like kind of phlegmy, that's why, and I do apologize. Okay, Aaron says, don't do it. I have trust issues after trying a strawberries and cream Dr. Pepper. Okay, that's what I was worried about. You know, I was like, that sounds good, but is it? And when you buy them at the convenience store, it's like $3 a can or something crazy. So I'm like, do I really want to spend my money on this? Probably not. I'll just buy a root beer. I'm so sorry to anyone watching the replay and you're like, guys, why are we spending the first 5 minutes talking about carbonated beverages? I'll timestamp the video, just skip ahead. And if you're watching live, I'm even more sorry. Okay, this comment says, can I become a millionaire by training millionaires who train millionaires to be millionaires? Trek, that's the only way. If we have learned anything from this channel, it's that the secret to getting rich is to teach other people to do the thing rather than to do the thing. You never get rich from doing the thing. You get rich from telling other people they can get rich by doing the thing. So if you want to become a millionaire, the best way to do it is to teach other people how they can become a millionaire. Will they ever become a millionaire? No, but that's not your problem because you're going to be a millionaire and that's what matters. Deanna says, I don't drink soda. You know what? Couldn't be me. Oh my God, my one friend's mom, because I only drink diet pop. I actually prefer the taste of diet pop over regular pop. I think because it tastes sweeter. Anyway, she always loses her mind on me whenever I tell her that I like drink Diet Coke. You're gonna get cancer. I'm like, well, I'm gonna get cancer anyway, let's be honest. Oh my God, guys, I just manifested that. Suzanne says, ready to get rich. We don't have a root beer here. You don't have root beer? What? There's no root beer in Australia? Is this real? You don't have any root beer of any kind. There's no Barks. There's no A&W. There's no, what's the other one that's really popular? I forget, but I always drink A&W. Hold on, I gotta Google this. Is there root beer in Australia? Okay, sarsaparilla. Do you know sarsaparilla? Root beer tastes like sarsaparilla. Same, but different. So if you've had that, then you know what root beer tastes like. Oh, I almost had a panic attack there. Root beer is like elite. One of the most elite beverages, soda form. Okay, again, I'm so sorry. You've never tried it. Okay. I don't even know how to explain it. It's so good. Spicy, but sweet. Just tasty and delicious. Okay. Now that I've wasted 7 minutes of your time, and some of you have probably already clicked off the video, I will get into what we're here to talk about today. Pablo says you should start a side channel reviewing non-alcoholic drinks at this point. You know what? Add it to the list. Okay. Today we're going to be... Sorry, I thought I was sharing my screen for a second. Someone sent me this to the scam reaction content form. We have a whole thing we need to look at today. I just want to give people a quick reminder because I feel like maybe it's unclear. I have 2 forms linked in the description of all of my videos. One is titled, I believe, Scam Reaction. That's where you can submit content for me to react to, like we're going to react to today. And then I also have another form called Coaching Scam Story, something like that. You'll see it. If you scroll down to the description right now, you'll see it. That specific form is for people to share essentially like their coaching horror stories. So if you have content you want me to react to, please submit the links to the reaction form. And then if you have a story that you want to share about your own experience, you can submit it to the coaching scam story form. Just sometimes people will send things in like vice versa, one or the other. So if you can just read the title and make sure you're submitting it to the correct form, that would be super helpful for me because I get so many submissions. Everything's kind of like all over the place. Harrison says the first 8 to 10 minutes of yapping is still far more watchable than most mastermind courses we willfully subject ourselves to. So true. And I also feel like at this point, especially for people that watch the replay, they probably know to just skip ahead. And I usually try to remember to timestamp it. So sorry, not sorry about that. And if you want to watch live, just show up 10 minutes late and you know that you won't miss anything, okay? Anyway, I digress. Okay, let's get into it. So this is what was sent to me. The actual video, of this training was sent to me, but I decided, you know what? I've still got time. Let me sign up for this training. So this is what we're going to be looking at today. It's called The Recipe, The Art of $1 Million Cash Months on Repeat. Immediately I saw this, I was like, cancel all my plans. I'm ready to make $1 million. Now, I believe, I can't keep track of all these grifters at this point. I do believe we just recently watched this woman. I think she was on the podcast that we listened to with Reagan Hillier a few weeks ago. Like this soundbite here, I think, is from that podcast episode. Let me find it. This one.
We call it like the knowing frequency. It's like when you just know that you know that you know that you know that you know that hashtag, of course, you couldn't not manifest it because you just know that that's who you are. And of course, and how could you not?
So that voice is Reagan Hillier, but I believe this woman was on that podcast episode. And somebody who knows these people better than I do can let me know whether or not I'm right, or I don't even know. again, like I said, I lose track of who these people are because I don't care. They're all just shilling the same nonsense. So honestly, what does it matter? Okay, so as you can see, this was a free sort of web series that happened over the course of the last 3 days. Now, something that so many of these people do, as I'm sure you know if you've watched any amount of my content, is they offer free trainings, and the free trainings are always just a funnel into whatever their paid offer is. So, you know, you join this Facebook group, they create this community, you attend all of these webinars, and then at the end, they land you in some big pitch where they're going to sell you on whatever their program is. So this one is claiming to be the art and science of creative wealth, $1.4 million cash month as a new mom with a small audience, small team, big love, big margins, and the best community on the internet. So I'm guessing what that means is that this woman did this. She has a small audience and a small team, but she made $1.4 million. To me, this copy kind of confusing. I don't know if you're telling me that's what I'm going to do or if that's what you're saying you did. A little bit unclear, but maybe she'll explain in a bit. So I've been trying to break $1 million cash months for a while. I mean, I wasn't that far off. I spent a year and a half averaging $500K cash in every 30 days, but 7 figures in 1 month is a whole other level. It's not as easy as throwing up some landing pages with nice branding and generic copy, banking on your already diehard fans, or posting Stripe screenshots on Instagram and ending up next to Beyonce on the cover of a magazine. Also, I'm confused by this screenshot. Why is it showing 2020 and then March to April? Like, what platform? Does anyone know what platform this screenshot is from? Because it's horribly confusing. If it were just about following the steps, building the funnels, adding yet another strategy, we'd all have done it by now. I had to do something totally different, something that, to be honest, I didn't expect would work. But then it did. Oh my God, I hate it. On a personal level, on an energetic level, on a strategic level. And I not only broke that $1 million mark in less than 30 days, I brought in $1,367,411. And then made it happen again the next month. Okay. At this point, it wasn't a fluke. The first time could be luck. But twice in a row? That's what we call a recipe. And now I have a super top secret formula that I've packaged up to sell to you for just one low price of $100,000. Okay, and then she has a plethora of Stripe screenshots, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the FTC is now really cracking down on people doing this. Because there's no way to show like the actual context of like what's going on here, whether this is true, whether this all is like doctored at all. Like, seems kind of sketchy if you ask me. In this free class, I'm going to teach you what took me 6 years to learn through trial and error. But I thought it just happened in 2 months. So was it 6 years or was it 2 months? Hundreds of thousands invested and literal blood, sweat, and tears for absolutely free. Can someone explain to me why someone who runs an online coaching business would be literally bleeding? Girl, if you're bleeding, working a work from home job you can do from anywhere on your phone, call the doctor, call 911. If I'm sitting in this office at my desk doing my work from home, work from my phone job, and I start bleeding, Pablo better be calling 911. That's all I'm saying. Literal blood, sweat, and tears. Are we sure we know what the definition of the word literally is? Exactly. Why was she bleeding? That's exactly what I want to know. I got questions, lady. Because I want to show you how to take exactly what I did without all the misfires to go make your old ceiling your new floor. Okay. So we haven't even gotten to the training yet, and already this sales page is giving red flag, allegedly, in my opinion. Okay.
I want all of you to like let that one especially like deeply sink in.
I want you to all let that sink in. Anyone who is using Stripe screenshots, first of all, to try and get you to buy whatever they're selling, red flag. Oh my God, what have I done? Sometimes I swear I'm such a boomer. No offense to any of the boomers in the room. Okay. Oh, frickin' heck. Gosh darn it. There we go. Okay. Okay, so that's what I was saying. Red flag number 1, the Stripe screenshots. Red flag number 2, calling this whole thing a recipe or a formula. Red flag number 3, because I did it, I'm going to show you how to do it. Business not copy and paste. I don't know how many times I got to say that until people understand this is not true. Okay? Thank you. What are my credentials? I've owned a business for a very long time. And I fell for this and it doesn't work, okay? Because once you're making good money, you know it's not just about making more. It's about making it lighter, making it last, and making a freaking masterpiece out of the life you've been given. Shortcut to $1 million months. And then screenshots of the course, blah, 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 blah. So I signed up, and by I mean my good friend Jane Doe registered for the workshop. And this was what it said once she finished registering. It says, "Congratulations, Rockstar. You're in. Read below. Check your inbox for an email from us. If you do not receive the email, first search the recipe. Check your spam or promotion folder and get us out of there into your main inbox. Read below and you're welcome. Email all the way through. If you have remaining questions, email us. Immediate next steps, blah, 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 blah." Okay, so then what did I do? Jane Doe went to her email inbox and found the email, and here it is. Don't mind my 4,000 unread emails. This is my spam account. "You're in, blah, blah, blah. Hey, Jane, welcome to the recipe. Here are your next steps." So I am impressed because a lot of these people don't update their shit. I am impressed that because I signed up, this training ran up until yesterday, and because I signed up after the fact, it does actually say watch the replay. So it's not, a lot of the times you'll sign up for these lead magnets for a live training that already happened. And because they haven't updated the automation, it will say like, mark your calendars for a date that already happened. So I will say, I will give credit where it is due. I'm impressed that she does say watch the replay, because that shows that they are actually keeping this email up to date. So there's that. Please note you will have free replay access within hours of the live calls, but only for a limited time. Recordings will be sold for $555. So let's keep that in mind. We're not going to watch all 3 parts just because they're literally like an hour or 2 long each. And I personally don't really feel like listening to this woman for the next 6 hours. But if we're interested enough, we can always break it up into parts. The person who sent this to me actually also sent me Dropbox files. So they did download it and save it for me, which was great. So if we do watch one today and we decide we want to watch another tomorrow or the next day, whatever, that is an option. So just keep that in mind. Step 2, surprise. You're getting exclusive limited time access to one of our most loved and raved about experiences. I didn't read this email before we got on here. So this is news to me. We'll take a look at that after. Then we can hang out in the Facebook group and we can get all these VIP bonuses. And then blah, blah. Oh, there's a Telegram channel. Blah, blah, blah. Has anyone here ever actually used Telegram? I don't have it. I'm not a coach. I don't have a coach. And I don't really care to have another app on my phone. But I was having a conversation with someone recently and they're like, "Can you just Telegram me?" And I was like, dude, what? No, I'm not doing that. So what's the hype? Why do people like that app? Somebody let me know in the comments. Okay, and then it just blah, blah, you know, you're going to get so much money and be like everyone else that did this amazing thing. So really excited to get into this. Whoa. So this was the some free training. We'll save that for later. 2 hours and 30 minutes. Ah! Okay. This is recipe Part 1. This is what we're going to watch today, but I am going to first come back to the comments because I have been ignoring you guys. Let me just scroll up here. Suzanne says, the yapping is my favorite part. You know what? Good, because I got a lot to say. Let me just say that. Just reporting in to say that I'm getting richer and smarter just passively watching this. Let's get rich.
It sounds like a get-rich-quick scheme.
Yes, thank you. You will get rich quick. We all will.
We're all going to get rich after we watch Recipe Part 1, I'm sure. When your course is called The Recipe and the only thing getting cooked is your bank account. So true. So true. Not me stuck at the 4-figure cash months like the pleb that I am. You know what? This audience is made for the poors. So if you make multiple 5, 6, or 7 figures a month, you're actually not welcome here. Okay? No one is making $1 million months legally, especially not like a one-on-one based service business. I'm skeptical. If you sell a product-based business, like if you have a product-based business, sure, because you probably have a team of 100 employees that are doing the work for you. But an individual with a small team selling a service, either you're scamming people and not delivering on the service, allegedly in my opinion, or you're not making $1 million. But who's to say? Give me the recipe for free, but probably cost me an hour, a headache, and a non-refundable $10,000 container to sit in and sell my soul to the cult of Delulu, maybe in my opinion. Actually, you have to give her 2.5 hours every day for 3 days straight. So it's even worse than we thought. I hate the live masterclass that pretends to be live. Those are the worst. You know how many of those I fell for back in the day? What's that website called? Webinar Jam. And they can even input like fake comments. So when you're watching live, you think that other people are also watching live, but it's actually robots that the webinar host programmed to comment stuff. So I love that for all of us. That's just really great. Suzanne says, oh, Telegram. I used it and I wasn't a fan. Aaron says, I downloaded it for one thing that I bought and then I got a message from my ex who I hadn't seen in 20 years, so I deleted it. I'm sorry, that's really funny. Yeah, I don't get it. I have never seen it, so I don't know. Like, when I was in the coaching industry, Voxer was like the cool space to hang out, and now everyone seems to have shifted to Telegram, and I just don't know what the difference is. But anyway, that can be a side quest for me to figure out another day. Let's go ahead and learn how to get rich, okay, guys? I'm so ready to get rich.
Raise your hand if you want to get rich.
I'm ready, so we're going to do it.
And now, I want you to honor your pull to this experience and land in the room with us and turn your phone upside down. Unless you're on your phone, then don't do that. Unless you are taking a boomerang and then posting it later, and I would love to reshare.
That is like such a millennial core thing to suggest. Take a boomerang. Sorry. I am a millennial, by the way.
Unless you are here with the Zoom fully open, immerse in the experience, because when you are fully present here, you don't have to rewatch. Like when you become present in your life, we're going to talk about this today, you can do like 5 times more than the average person, because the average person is usually just 20% where they are. So can we do that today? If you're here, if you're ready to be in the room, like act like the craziest crowd. Like when something lands, you're like, $1 million nugget, hallelujah, amen, whatever you say when something lands, you let me know, because I have FOMO from the chat box and I'll get so distracted. I'll hang out there, but I go and I act.
Harrison says 2 seconds in and I hate it already. That's literally what I was thinking. The fact that she started like this. I'm gonna have to start every live stream like that from now on, guys. I Hi, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. Make sure you take a boomerang and post it on your Instagram story so I can repost it to mine. Like, I want whatever this lady's having. Please give it to me.
Actually, read the chat box after the call. So it just means so much when you're here, you're active, you're meeting people today, right? Like if I say nothing to help you have a braingasm, to just feel in your body infinite possibility, to know, to have a little code of, oh my gosh, Shosh opened and cracked open a pathway of possibility and something that I can immediately implement today.
All right, I gotta slow her down. She's too much. For the first time ever, she doesn't talk in slow motion.
All of those things will happen today in every single call from here on out. However, my favorite thing is that when you leave here, you have like 50 new connections. And that you're active, that you're learning, that we're masterminding in the chat. And you can be as present as you can while still having a good time and having a party. I know sometimes on the call, we're like, wanting to connect. We have a Facebook group where we have all of the Instagram handles and everything, so you can post your links. And I just ask, like, no links, no.
Yeah, don't engage in the chat, everyone. I want you to come to my private Facebook group and only talk to me there, because I don't have time to be looking at your messages in the chat, okay? So just save it, because I don't care.
Will my OGs hold it down in the chat today? Because this is the most amount of people we've ever had on a live program. And this is the first time that I used paid ads. And I was just like, you know what? This is so fun. This is 6 times bigger than our largest event that we've ever done. I was like,
you guys are killing me in the live chat right now.
let's just pour fuel on the fire, because I don't just want to have $1 million months on repeat. I'm ready to have a $2 million, $3 million cash month on repeat so that I can walk that path and then give you guys the map so it can be easier, lighter, more joyful, fun. I can clear the path for you. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do? I'm going to invite a whole lot of new people into the community. So I want to know today, if you were invited by someone invited you into the Living Brave world, how you found us. If someone invited you, could you please drop their name in the chat so we can celebrate them? If you shared about this class, can you write shared in the chat where you're coming in from in the world? There might be someone down the street from you that you can meet who's introduced themselves in the Living Brave Facebook community. Like, let's get loud in the chat. Okay, share. Amazing. Let's see. Brand new, you invited me. I love that. So happy to catch live. Whose first time live is it? So if it's your first time live, we'd love to say coming in, ... Curious? Coming in, ...
Yeah, guys, if it's your first time watching my live stream, I want you to type coming in ... And to that, I will say this. Let me find the sound. I have way too many sounds now. I can't keep track of them. Ah! I lost it. I'm trying to find the one of us. What did I name it? Oh, it's right here.
Now you are one of us. One of us. One of us.
Guys, this is like next level. I want to say love bombing, but it's not exactly love bombing, but I understand what she's doing here. She's trying to create this feeling of like, welcome to my community. I am like so appreciative of you, blah, 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 blah. When the reality is she just wants your money, allegedly, in my opinion. Space Pastry says, Bubba invited you. Oh my God. We love Bubba around here. He is our #1 community supporter, #1 recruiter of the Danielle Ryan YouTube channel. He is so good at his job. That's why he's so tired, because he's been networking all day. He's like, why are you touching me right now? I'm tired, gay lady. Oh, no. Okay, sorry. Let's get back into it.
Excited, don't know what to expect, tired, ready to rock and roll. Like, how are you feeling? So that we can really love you up. This community is like none other. You are home upon arrival.
The how are you feeling just makes me think of this sound.
Are you feeling happy? Are you feeling grateful? Are you feeling empowered? Are you feeling relief? Are you feeling, how does that feel?
that feel, guys? Let me know in the comments. How are you feeling?
And there are women in here who have been here since 2020. If you're an OG, if there's a Vortex in the house, Inner Circle in the house, you have our club members, drop in the chat. Lou invited you. So let's celebrate. Katya invited over 400 people to this experience. Talk about a true freaking legend. We love you, Lou. Also invite her whole community there. Who is the Latinas bringing it? I know that Cami, Sophie, so many of our women, especially in the Vortex, that came, and we can basically have a subgroup and just do all in Spanish. So I'm so excited that you guys are here. Through Taylor Lee, amazing.
Oh, it's so funny she's offering that because I'm actually going to do a whole live stream in Spanish. Pablo's going to host. When she does her Spanish webinar, we will do Spanish commentary. I'm kidding. We're not doing that, okay?
Oh, I love Taylor. All right. Sí. Claro. Okay, so I've got my notes over here because I have so much to share with you today. Okay, I have 17 pages. How long do you feel like, those of you who know me, let's just have a little guess in the chat. Who buffered a little bit of time to be here today? No, but I really want to be cognizant of your time. And that's why we have at least 3 days. Who's going to be here all 3 days?
I want to be cognizant of your time. That's why I'm hosting a 3-hour live training. Oh my God. I can't. I'm like this woman, and I say this every time, but I listen to this and like I kind of, and I'm sure people say this about me too, so it's just like different strokes for different folks, I guess, but this woman's kind of annoying. Like I kind of am having a really hard time listening to her, and we're only 5 minutes in. I don't do well with people who are so high energy. Like, can we all just relax for like 5 minutes? That's all. I'm begging you. Please help. SOS.
Who is ready to claim your path of inevitability to $1 million months in your heart-led, mission-driven business? Is that you? And if it's not you yet, if you're like me, which was a couple years ago, I'm like, 6-figure month, like WTF. And if you're like, you saw me on social media or someone shared me and you're like, WTF, like what's going on here? That will probably continue. So that'll probably continue through the whole experience. Like, what the fuck is going on here? You're going to come be like, still, what the fuck is going on here? But I'm going to come back day 2 and day 3.
I don't know. It's just like the giggling for me is just, it's a little bit too much. Especially if I'm thinking of this, of like, this woman is going to teach me, allegedly, how to build my business. Do I want to take business advice from someone who can't stop giggling? I don't get it.
So I ask that you know that today I'm just going to build and build and build, and the best is going to be saved for last. So from the bottom of my heart and soul, everything I've got, thank you for choosing to be here today. Thank you for the message that is meant to come through me today for us, because I am just as much of a student of this work. I dedicate basically my whole life to being in mastery of life artistry, of business artistry, so I can help you guys awaken to your own mastery and bring your visions to life with joy, with aliveness, with fulfillment, so that you can be stretched into the person that you feel that you are becoming, the fullness of who you are, and that you can really rise onto your own stage as the rock star of your movement. Okay, so thank you from the bottom of my heart, and thank you for being present and active in the chat and turning on your video today, because it's just so much more fun that way.
Maria is asking why the eyes closed, and I think Aaron's comment here sums it up pretty well. Eyes closed and arms in the air like we are in a mega church. Maybe that's why this is making me so uncomfortable. I'm just like, what is happening? I really don't like it. I can't even like articulate the feeling. It's just making me very uncomfortable.
So you guys, before I dive into the recipe, I'm going to do something to just honor your mind, okay? To honor your mind, because I realize that when you start to do things that are unbelievable, and we say unbelievable results, what happens is that people stop believing you. It's the craziest And so truly every day, especially because when I have an organic audience, so organic just means that I grew this with a following of family and friends who were like, hey, you should listen to this podcast. And then people literally just watched me build this. They saw me go live, pretend I had to go. They saw me like go live, my internet cut out 3 times. I just pretend it never happened and then sat in the hot tub eating chocolate and a glass of wine. They saw me go through my heartbreak. They saw me with all.
Sorry. I'm just imagining eating chocolate in a hot tub. That sounds like an awful idea. I don't know why I think that's so funny, but eating chocolate in a hot tub, it would be so messy. Oh my God, I'm sorry. Totally irrelevant, but that's just like, what?
All 20 of my different hairstyles, just being myself. They saw me on my Instagram stories walking on the lake for the 100th time. They saw me build this, but there are people who haven't seen me build this. And so they're like, how'd you do it? She fucking didn't. And there are people like, LOL, how'd you do it? You didn't. And I'm like, but I did. And I'm like, could you please take this up with the IRS? Like, I know you're in the comment section, but I would love if you could make your case to the federal government. I would not. No, I'm just kidding. It is an honor. It is an honor to pay the taxes. But it's real. It actually happens. So I want the math to math for you, okay? This is the kind of results that are so big, and we're going to talk about this today, that it's literally offensive to people. Have you guys ever heard like nasty money, like ungodly money, obscene money? Like, it is nasty, ungodly, and obscene, and it is unbelievable. And so the math is mathing. So this breakdown that I'm about to share with you. Is everybody here? Are you here? Are you having fun? Are you making a friend so far? Are we stoked?
I am not having fun. I'll tell you that for free.
Stoked. I'm excited. I was scared. I jumped in the ice bath before and I was like, oh, come on. Like, it takes me 50 seconds to get fully submerged. I just like to torture myself. And then I like jump out after 20 and Christian's like, well, you didn't get the full benefits. I'm like, I literally jumped back in for, I was just like, I'm going to get.
Suzanne says, I'm confused. What's her point? I am so lost. I thought it was just me. I'm like, okay. I know I complain every week about the quality of these people's slide decks, but I would give anything for a slide deck right now that told me what the hell this woman is talking about. I don't understand where we're going with this.
Getting the vibe. I'm so scared. Okay. The math is mathing. So this is a breakdown of 3.988 new sales over 5 to 6 weeks. Are you ready? Thousands of $30 to $33 offers. So this is, I run every year. Who is a part of Money March? If you're a part of Money March, make some noise. God, I love Money March. This is my 3rd Money March. They say 3rd time's a charm. We had 2,400 inside. 600 were already my clients, so they already got access to it. So this was 1,800 new people, $30, all organic. So I didn't use any ads, all organic. I have an audience of about 28,000 people on Instagram. So this is making sense. And about a third of the new people invited. That's like 600 new people, right? 1,200 new people for my audience, and then 600 my clients, 2,400 people. And they bought a $30 offer. And then on top of that, we had hundreds of people buy who didn't get in. They were like, damn, who got the $1 Million Cash Month bundle, which is like 2 of the best classes, which I highly recommend you dive into, from Money March, where it was like bananas through the roof. I mean, you will understand why it happened without me even breaking it down when you watch those classes. Don't worry, I'll break it down for you. Okay, so that is $60,000 at least, and maybe a few tens of thousands of dollars more through $30 and $33 offers. Is that kind of cool? Who here has like 25,000 people in your audience, or it's not that crazy, and you're like, I could literally have a 60K, 70K month just through $30 or $33 offers. However, are we gonna stop?
Okay. Pausing for a second. Even if you had 25,000 people following you and you sold a $30 offer, the chances of converting 100% of your audience, I don't know the statistics, but I'm going to say it's not very likely, lady. I don't know anyone with a 100% conversion rate. Like, that's actually insane. Oh my God, I'm supposed to take business advice from this lady. I can't believe it.
Up there Because who here loves to invest in yourself? Who here has been blessed because someone has had the heart, has had the bravery, the courage, the audacity to sell you something that allows you to put skin in the game and get out close and
Oh my God. Okay, so I'm scrolling here trying to see. It doesn't look like she has a slide deck at any point. She's literally just going to talk for 2.5 hours, guys. I wouldn't even subject you to me talking for 2.5 hours. Oh my God. We're not going to make it. I'm not going to make it to the end of this. I'm telling you now.
personal and proximity and community and to go deeper on a transformation. So we had hundreds of people buy a $222 upsell. Okay. And that's a course that I have, which is a life-changing course. So that's about over 10% of the people who join the challenge, right? Easy one-time upgrade. Who here feels like you do easy one-time upgrade? You don't even need an upgrade page. You just say, hey, you guys, if you're loving this challenge, I have this life-changing course. Here's what's actually different from this challenge. I can't help it. I'm trying to launch into a strategy training right now. I'm just like, I want you guys to get it. And so there's more over here, right? Like, here's what you're learning here. If you're interested in all of this and everybody's raving about this course, there's an opportunity to join now. So hundreds of people upgraded. So what is that? About 40K, you could say, from a $220 class. That was just an upgrade. Didn't even do it on the front end within the program. Then hundreds of people were like, this is amazing. Who are you? What is this community? I'm obsessed. I want to join the VIP club. I want to do some live coaching. I want bonus material. Like, I want to be in the VIP level. And I want a whole year of daily voice notes with you, or whatever your offer is. For me, it's like I recorded the whole year of my quantum leap year in which I 20x'd year over year. And that's the club. And the club was something I ran for like 3 years. It doesn't require any additional work for me. So all of this is already done. Besides, of course, Money March. I've done it 3 years, but I did something every day, a little voice training when Atlas went to bed and I was like in bed. Okay, so hundreds of people bought the $1,999 $2,000 offer. That's $400,000. That's about 8% of the people in the challenge. That's pretty cool. Then, do you guys know about this event called Living Brave Live? I'm freaking out right now. So excited. Do you guys know about Living Brave Live and that's happening? And it's something that's happening.
Oh my God. Okay. Even if I was interested in this, if I found a live training and, I'm excited to attend, I think this woman is going to actually teach me something useful, and I book off time in my calendar to show up to this webinar, and this is what's happening. It's just a lady talking like this. I would be pissed. I would be so pissed that I wasted my time for this. Let the record show.
Happened like a few times. It wasn't really called Living Brave Live. It was like the community party celebration. Let's come together. I don't know anything about what a conversion event, like that feels icky to me. I just want to get the community together and then like everybody's businesses blow up and we have the time of our life. So we have Living Brave Live. My excitement for it went through the roof. The energy of Living Brave Live is actually so big that I feel like it is already breaking the matrix. Like I feel like it would glitch out the Wi-Fi as I'm talking about it. So we had, say, 50 people join Living Brave Live, and say there's like VIP and GA and we're in an early bird, so that's like $50K, $50,000 of people buying Living Brave Live, okay, through an organic sales page. Then from there, we have a core offer. It was a $25,000 offer, and say 115 people buy, so over 5 to 6 weeks.
Imagine paying $25,000 to listen to this woman every week. Or however often it works. Oh my God, my worst nightmare.
115 people buy a 25K offer. Now things are getting very interesting, isn't it? Isn't that $2.75 million? Okay, whoa, hold on. Okay, so you're at like 60K, 40K, 50K. This is amazing. And now we have our core offer. Less than 5% of people had to go for it. In fact, it's an offer for the 1% person. 115 people bought it. So that's 2.75 million.
This is giving the same vibes as when you see, often I'll see it on like TikTok or Instagram reels, people being like, if you want to make $1,000 a month, you just have to sell something for $20 50 times and you'll make $1,000. And it's like, girl, I know how to do math. Like, what are you even saying? Dumb.
Whoa. And that's through something I do every year that I didn't run paid ads to, that I did an affiliate program like kind of last minute. I was just like, wait, you guys share on it. These are fun giveaways. This is so fun. And I actually mapped out exactly how I do affiliate programs and exactly how I helped a private client of mine 3x her signups for a paid program to over 1,000 people. Her first time getting over 1,000 people in the room inside of the VIP pregame that I did for you guys just for sharing about the challenge. So if you still want to get access to that, it's like a 2-hour thing. I can't go into the whole thing, but I actually give you guys the whole playbook for free. All you do is share about the challenge, this experience, the recipe on social media, or invite 5 people. And then there's a form that you can fill out and you'll get access if you qualify. So I wanted to let you know that. Okay. On top of that, I have return clients. So without doing any forward-facing live launching reason to join now, without an automated or live promotion, one of my clients in the vortex.
Erin's asking what's on the wall behind her. I believe it's an LED sign. Her tagline is something about being brave. I don't know if you can see it. Oh no, this is filmed somewhere else. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what it says. But it's probably, I'm brave, I'm living brave, I'm something, because that's like her thing, I think.
Who I haven't seen in a while, she's like, hey, let's have a one-to-one call. And I have a discounted rate for a one-to-one. So it was a $5K offer for a 50-minute one-to-one. And we had a 50-minute one-to-one. She was like, great. I just mapped out my multiple 6-figure launch. Thank you. So one 5K offer. Someone messaged me. They said, hey, do you have an offer that's like, I believe in you. I love you. Let's go. Someone that I've worked with in the past, a private client. I was like, I think that offer is ready for you. She's like, okay, great.
Okay, I'm just pausing to read the comments because I saw Harrison said he wanted to see them. This comment here. This is beautiful. Easy to understand and full of value. Someone explain to me which part of this is easy to understand. I'm so lost right now. Oh, no. So simple and easy to understand. Guys, am I stupid? What am I missing? What part of this video is easy to understand? I'm so confused. Oh, no. Yeah, Suzanne says, I wonder if this is an unlisted video. Yeah, so in order for me to get it, if that person hadn't sent it to me, I had to give my email address, and then she linked me to the videos. And apparently she's going to mark them as private, I think, after tomorrow. But a lot of coaches I have seen do this, where you like stream your training as an unlisted YouTube video so that people can get it if they have the link, but otherwise it's not available to the public. Yeah, Harrison, that's what I want to know. Harrison says, what planet are they living on? What planet are we? I'm not sure, but two different planets. That's for certain.
And then it was one 33K little custom VIP offer. That's great. VIP month. Cool. Then a bunch of my current clients were like, what is this crazy energy? I would like to re-sign with you. And so like, I would actually like to buy many years up front in advance. Who here in the room bought any of these offers? Drop in the chat so we can show everybody it's real. We can show everybody that this is unbelievable. So
who is buying multiple years of coaching from one person up front? This reminds me of the time, one time I went to the chiropractor and I was having, this is when I had my office job. So this was like 8 years ago. And I was having back pain. So I went to the chiropractor and it was really weird. They make you come on a specific day of the week with every other person who's coming into this like chiropractor practice. And they made us watch this like movie. It's like a 15-minute movie about the miracle healing powers of chiropractic practices. And so they're interviewing all these people, very similar to like this whole coaching coaches thing. They make you watch all these video testimonials of past clients whose lives have changed from coming to the chiropractor, blah, 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 blah. Then they take you into the back. They make you do an x-ray. The doctor, chiropractic doctor, goes over the x-ray with you, diagnoses you with some problem. Then he gives you an adjustment and he says to me, I want to put you on a treatment schedule where you pay up front for all of your adjustments for the next, it was either 6 months or a year. It was something crazy. And immediately the red flag started going off where I'm like, in what medical profession are you able to see someone one time and determine that they're going to need, I think it was like 3 adjustments per week, every week for 6 months? How do you know that I need that specific treatment? Like with any kind of ailment, usually it's like, okay, you'll do it for a couple weeks and then we'll assess and then we'll see. But I was like, something about this seems like a scam. And so sure enough, they're like trying to use high pressure sales. Okay, well, maybe you can just put down a deposit. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Maybe you can just pay half. No, I'm not doing that. Like they wanted you to pay in full upfront for 6 months. That's why I'm bringing this up, because she's saying this person wanted to pay for multiple years upfront. Anyway, I managed to get out of this office without paying a cent. I'm like, I am not signing up for any of this. No. Sure enough, I go home and I Google it, and it's like a business model that certain chiropractic colleges will teach their doctors to use. And so I was right. There is no way to know that I would need 3 adjustments every week for 6 months. But the whole experience, it was going to be like $6,000 or $8,000, and it wouldn't be covered under my benefits because my benefits only covered like $500 or something. So I was like, ain't no way I'm spending $6,000 on the chiropractor. Like I'll live with my back pain. I don't care. Anyway, all that to say, just like I would not pay up front for 6 months with the chiropractor, you would never catch me paying a mentor for multiple years of mentorship before I even know what direction my business is heading. It just doesn't even make sense. If someone is encouraging you to sign up for multiple years of coaching, who's to say you're even going to have your business in a couple years? Like, what if you change your mind and now you're stuck, paying this person because you already decided you needed their coaching 4 years ago? Like, what?
25. Probably more than this. Like at least it was 20 last time I checked, and then people bought multiple years in advance. So probably more than this. 17K offers. So that's 425,000. And just people being like, I want to join an alumni year. That's existing clients.
So
and then
true,
one
Ashley.
person who was already in my ecosystem was like, hey, I want to join your mastermind for 7-figure earners. So she wired 600 over 6 figures. 6 figures at once. On top of this, so that is 3.988 million in 5 to 6 weeks. Is that exciting for you guys? Does that clear the pathway? On top of this, when I talk about cash in the business, 2.4 million in 60 days. So 2.4 million in 60 days is 43K cash days every day for 60 days. Okay, that's 300,000 cash per week for 8 weeks. Right now, what has supported on top of new sales is our recurring revenue is at $400,000 a month. So every month, regardless of if I post on social media, if I do this live event, do you guys think that I probably love what I do? Do you think I probably am obsessed with this and want to keep raising the bar for you guys? So every month on top of this, we have $400,000 in recurring revenue because we're building a business. We're not building a promotion, we're building a business. And building a business, building a family, building a community in which people come and they stay and they go deeper and they transform, not just a space for one-time transaction. Your business model and the way that you have your offers and your subscriptions is actually a renegotiation of your client relationships. And when I did this and I decided I was going to build a home in which I don't care if you don't jump into the highest level offer today, I'm here to build a movement that changes your life. And once you're pulled, I truly believe it's just a matter of time. And I hope that when you join, you found family and you stay year after year after year and we grow.
This is like textbook cult speak, allegedly, in my opinion. We're all family. And once you join, even if you don't buy right away, you're part of the family. And eventually I will extract every single cent in your wallet into my bank account. So welcome to the family. Happy to have you here.
And we evolve together. Okay. And we're going to talk about how to build a movement that is more than just an A to B transactional business model. And you can actually build something that feels like a home, that feels like a family for you. So when I had a 20K month, which was my first full month going all in after I invested 14 times my monthly income in a mastermind off the back of a $0 launch. And what's a $0 launch? When you basically delete everything and pretend it never happened. Okay, that's what a $0 launch is. And I was like, screw it. I'm not confident. I'm not convicted. I don't know that this is gonna happen for me, but God damn it, I've seen way too many people go out there and do it. I'm unwilling to wonder what if. And I'm able for a moment to devalue money and value myself. And if I'm serious about my dreams, I might as well go all in and at least see if it's possible. And so I did that. And what happens when you have skin in the game is that you start showing up. And then, someone said, hey, Shosh, I think you're ready to start selling. I was like, excuse me, I didn't hear you. What'd you say? Bye. Yeah, start selling, Shosh. I'm like, okay. And then, people would do what they do of you should meet my friend so-and-so. She's going through a hard time. And instead of just yes, I'll talk to her on the phone for 2 hours, I was like, well, interesting, Denitza. That's actually what I do for a living. And so if you would love to, I would love to talk to your friend. And I talked to her friend and I'd be like, I think I could really help you. And then I would invite her into an offer, and then I could really help her. And then she wanted to sign on for 3 more months. And then my heart almost fell out my body when someone was like, yeah, sure, I'll pay in full, $5,000, 6 months. I was like, what's happening? Going downstairs, I'm living with my parents at the time, just what's up? Nothing, normal day. I'm rich, and this is crazy, and I don't know if what I'm doing is legal. Okay, my heart's beating at a million miles per hour, just playing it cool. How are you so
Legal? Maybe it's legal from a technical standpoint. Is it ethical? My partner and I were talking about this yesterday. We were out for a walk. We're talking about, people in business, certain business models that platform scammers. And if we think of I don't know, any of those online platforms where you can build an online course. Not to say that all online courses are scams. We've established that many times on the channel. But surely some of these online platforms must know that they are platforming people who are doing unethical things. Andrew Tate has, what's it called? Hustlers University. Where is he hosting that? The platform that is allowing him to host his online course surely knows that what he is doing is unethical, right? And so just because something isn't technically legal, does that make it okay? This is the conversation we were having. We were talking about, building businesses, generating wealth, and the importance of doing so in a way that doesn't compromise your values. Because I think that there are certain business models that make it really easy to scale, and you could make a lot of money doing certain activities that are legal, but does that make it ethical? And how do you sleep at night knowing that you built your wealth by exploiting people or taking advantage of vulnerable people, etc.? So things that I think about a lot. Things that I spend my free time talking about. And this just kind of brought to mind that, because sure, she maybe allegedly made a bunch of money, but did she do it ethically? And is it really worth it? Okay, so now you're wealthy, but you've destroyed all of these people's lives. Not saying that she specifically, but in general, people who generate a lot of wealth unethically often cause a lot of harm. Go to Reddit and read people's horror stories. Does that make it okay? Does it, you get to benefit off the backs of other people? I don't know. There's just a whole conversation to be had. And yes, accumulating large amounts of wealth by anyone can't be done without some level of exploitation. But I don't know. I lose sleep over things like this.
so chill when you're dropping the price? I'm so scared. I'm literally freaking out on the inside, right? And so I had a 20K month, my first full month going all in, with 12 people signing up for one-to-one coaching. And at the time, my one-to-one coaching, life coaching, not business coaching, life coaching, to help people transform their shame into power, because it was a journey that I had walked myself through. And I didn't have to say, I've done this for thousands of people. I've been on the cover of Forbes. All I did was shared my deepest, darkest truth and owned who I was with a microphone and a laptop and a cell phone. I said, here's how this work has changed my life. And I served people, and people were moved, and they shared about it, and they wanted to go on the journey together with a guide. And so at $1,500 per month, 12 people, that's a $20K month. What? When I had a, so does this do it for you guys? When I had a $50,000 month, it was the first round. People started asking me, like, what's going on? Like, how are you? Your podcast is doing amazing. You booked out, because I'd be like, I have a wait list for private coaching. You're like, how do you have a wait list? Like, I've been trying to do this for years. You know, can I pick your brain? I'd be like, how about who's had people pick their brains? Do people who pick your brains tend to like go all in, get the results? Does that feel really nourishing for you and it's what you do for work? I was like, how about we have an intentional conversation and container around this? So I started doing some like business stuff behind the scenes, and I realized it was the same stuff holding people back in their lives that hold them back in their business. And that my way of approaching business was like very different than what people had learned. It was really working. It was like an attraction-based model in which your business grows with you.
Nina here says she creates so much emotion that clients erase logic from their purchase. That's why many people experience buyer's remorse, because after a purchase, the logic steps in. 100%. That's what any kind of like, I won't say any, that's kind of a general statement, but many of these like free trainings, webinars, masterclasses, etc., are designed to really get you to buy into that excitement, the possibility of this could happen for you too, so that you will buy and not really think about it. It's the same as the story I've told so many times on the channel for those of you that have been around. But one of the first offers I didn't buy but almost did was for an online course on how to build an online course. Thank God. And I watched this webinar, and that exactly, the emotional excitement of like, oh, this is going to happen for me. I'm going to be able to quit my job. I'm going to build this successful online course, even though I had no skills or experience that I could even turn into an online course at that time. I digress. So excited. I'm literally going to grab my credit card, and my boyfriend and my brother are like, you're not buying that. That's so stupid. But I would have done it because I'm in the chat. I'm so excited. This person like makes it feel as though they have my best interest in mind. And the reality is just like, this ain't it. This ain't it.
The more you that you are, the more you bring yourself to the table, the more you bring your feeling into it, your femininity into it, the more you bring your multidimensional expression, the more access points people have to you, and you can leverage your creativity and life force. And it's like, oh, this is totally not what I've been learning. And so I did my first round of my Empowered Business Accelerator, which now the course is inside of my Vortex Inner Circle. It's a 7th edition. I ran it 7 or maybe 8 times. 30 hours of training in there. I invited 27 people into that first round, often just through, hey, Kara, I know you're in my Facebook group. You said you want to build a business. Oh, I know we worked together last month. You said you'd love to do this. I'm running this experience that just helps people claim the path of entrepreneurship. Because that's what I had done. It wasn't how to make $1 million, it was how to claim the path of entrepreneurship. And so it's a 6-week program, 27 people in at $1,500. And 7 people were like, I want some extra one-to-one calls with you at $3,000. That is a $50,000 month. 27 people. That's a $50,000 month. And I did this everything I shared, the 3.988 in 5 to 6 weeks in new sales, right? The 2.4 million in 60 days. Did this all without ads. Did this always. I've had like one full-time team member who's been doing like customer support and logistics and scheduling. And I've had some awesome contractors, like an accountant or someone who does design, right? Or people who help with community management, or someone we have support roles in the Vortex, right? And I have a 7. He's going to be 6 months gestational age. The cutest nugget, besides your babies, of course, the cutest nugget on planet Earth. As a new mom. So now that we've satisfied the mind, can we hear in the chat, is that satisfy your mind? How does that feel? Okay. Where do I start? This is my first call. Here. Please start here today. Okay. How anyone doing? Go.
Okay. We are 23 minutes in, and my brain is melting. I'm going to skip to about, maybe we'll go to an hour and just see if she ever gets into anything. Like she said at the beginning, for those of you that were late, she has 17 pages of notes. Have we started reading the notes? Because I don't really feel like we've done anything structured. So surely you haven't started reading your notes. Or like, what are the notes? You know? Yikes. So yeah, we'll skip to an hour, feel it out a little bit, see, and then skip ahead again if we have to.
Is that no one's ever gonna love me. I realized that all this bullshit confidence, all of this surface level spirituality, all of this, I am more than my mind and my body, I am more than my mind and my body. I'm not even Shoshana. I'm the unborn, undying self, which I love. The basis of spirituality was bypassing my
Aaron, yes. So on the original sales page we looked at, it said she's a new mom that made $1.4 million in a month. So that's kind of like the selling feature is that she's a mom and she can make money. And if you're a mom, you can make money too. Woo!
my very real human experience. That I've been passed down shame, that I have shame, that I already had fear of being alone, that I already had fear that no one's gonna love me, that I'm not enough. And now my shame has something to cling on to. If they only knew the truth about you. And so I saw old photos of myself and I saw a different person. That was me then, this me now. This woman, she didn't even know how good she had it. She attracted this horrible thing into her life. And it was kind of like someone just took the fucking cake and smashed it on the floor, and then I could see what was in the cake. And I could see the contents of the cake. Like I had never seen the contents of the cake before. And so I flew home, didn't track it.
What's wrong with the cake? I want to know. I've never met a cake I don't like, so I'm a little bit concerned.
Annapurna circuit where I could sulk a little bit more. But before I flew home, on the internet search, I found a TEDx talk. And I found a TEDx talk of a woman bravely sharing about her STI status. She was about my age. She was from Connecticut, which is weird. I'm from Connecticut. She was in her 20s, and she said, "There are more important things to share with the world than I have an STI. Things like I'm falling for you, things like I want to raise, things like here's what I stand for." And she was funny, and she was flirty, and she made it kind of sexy. She was enjoying herself. Her talk was inspirational. And I wasn't ready for it, but it planted a seed. And whenever I would tell someone my snot sob story, sometimes I would show them that talk, and they would also feel inspired. And so I still felt like a victim. I need to play that out for a little longer. And I didn't know it at the time, but I was a really bad artist, because the truth is,
Nina, this is how I feel too. Nina says, I mean, I understand her role in the market, but I cannot understand how people buy into this. I really, really, really try my hardest, no matter who we're looking at on this channel, to place myself in the position of a potential buyer for whatever's being sold. And obviously now, having been out of the industry for so long myself, but also been like making and analyzing this type of content now for almost 3 years, it's become very difficult for me to be able to put myself in that position anymore, just because I can immediately identify red flags. I can see this is bullshit, this is bullshit, this is bullshit. And so it's harder for me now to identify with the people that can watch this and want to buy it. And obviously they exist. Like the comment section shows that. You see it online, people defending this woman, women like this, whatever. And so it is super interesting to think, like, what position would I have to be in to watch this and not only believe what she's saying, but then be willing to give my money over to her. Super, super interesting. Yeah, this comment says she's rambling about her fake rags to riches story. It's part of the coaching coaches guidebook, playbook, if you will. I've never seen a coach's website that didn't have a rags to riches story. Let me just leave it at that.
We do create our reality. Have you heard that? I create my reality. If you're like, then why? Because this was what my vision board said, and this isn't really matching up. So I don't think I'm creating my reality. Well, do we create our reality based on what we want? Does life give us what we want? I just want to hear in the chat. Does life give you what you want? No. Life will laugh at our plans, right? No. Life, how silly of us to think that we know better than life. Sometimes what we want is often rooted in our own wounds, right? And rooted in our own likes and dislikes and aversions and attachments. And so what will life do? Life will give you raw material. Life will give you exactly the recipe that is needed for you to choose. What do I focus on? What do I make this mean? And my meaning dictates my outcomes, and my outcomes and the energy I'm in which I do the things creates my life. However, I was not aware of this, so I was an unconscious creator. I looked at what happened to me, I focused on it like crazy. I decided it was the most important thing and that it was a bad thing. And so what did I do? I lived my life in accordance to someone who had a bad thing happen to them. Whatever we believe, we make true. And so I turned this situation into trauma. My teacher, Dr. Benjamin Hardy, an exponential growth psychologist, calls trauma anything from your past that you still feel happened to you, not for you, and that there is no situation that you cannot turn into post-traumatic growth. Your past should be getting better and your future gets bigger. And you dictate your past is actually created from your present. The way I see the past creates the past. And where I believe I'm going creates the present. Versus my past creates now and now creates then. It's an opposite model of time. Right? And so I decided I was going to make this trauma. I decided I was going to walk around with a 20-pound weight. One night, I cried myself to sleep. After I had no boundaries. I was just running from myself. Teaching yoga, writing, freelance writing. But inside, the cake was not tasting good anymore. Okay, it was shitty cake. And I heard a voice. You guys heard this voice before? Like, kind of spooks you a little bit. Just a voice comes to you. You know exactly what to do. You can keep running from yourself, or you can become your own best friend again. You can keep doing this as long as you want. Or you can come home to yourself. You can become your own best friend again. And so I had this intuition. I actually did what people call a quantum leap. Quantum leap isn't just financial. In fact, a lot of the time,
Quantum leap is actually not real. Newsflash. You cannot quantum leap anything. Quantum leaping is a bullshit concept that is bastardized from actual quantum physics, and these grifters have taken it and tried to make it a thing, and it's not a real thing. No one's quantum leaping anything. They don't even know what quantum means. It's semioff. That's what it is.
times the identity quantum leap. Your quantum leap happens before the tangible 3D catches up. And so a quantum leap is when you release the 80% and you double down on 20%. So I released 80% of what I was telling myself, who I was hanging out with, what I was doing, what I was feeling, what I was experiencing. I cut out substances. I cut out all of the things that I was using to numb myself, to make myself feel better. And I had this intuition. Run a half marathon. Okay, I'm not a runner. Run a half marathon. Okay, so run a half marathon, start running. Okay, now learn to pitch a tent. What? I'm always the one like making popcorn, like, you know, on the fire, and I'm just entertaining everybody. Okay, learn to pitch a tent, and then travel to yoga and music festivals where you know no one. Take your Prius, go across the country and volunteer on like the dishware team. I was washing dishes in exchange for like concert tickets. I had an intuition.
Okay, so you're living like any early 20-something festival goer, it sounds like. Like, what about this experience is unique? I'm sorry?
That I needed to free myself, that I was carrying this trauma and this shame. It's like, I just feel like there's something here. Have you ever had an intuition like this that you knew that you had to follow? And maybe it was the seed that had been planted about a year ago, watching someone else break open a pathway of possibility for me, someone who freed themselves so they could set me free. And I had this feeling and I had this voice like, what if I wasn't punished What if I was chosen? What if I wasn't punished? What if I was chosen? What if I didn't attract this? What if I was delivered this? And so I started coming home to myself. I started dating myself. I started falling in love with my life again. This is the foundation of how I started living brave. I think it's very important to share. I'm in love with my life. And I started to speak about HSV, about herpes. And as I did, there were less tears and less of this pity party, because often, even I'd cry a little bit. Oh, me too. Here's my story. Or even if it wasn't that, because 1 in 2 people get an STI before age 25, they'd be like, well, let me open up about my thing. And then people would open up, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, everybody's walking around with something that they're hiding until someone's brave enough to share the truth.
Okay, so I missed that. So the reason why she brought up the TED Talk is because she has an STI. Is that correct? I don't know this woman, so I don't know anything about her. Is that part of her, like, rags to riches story?
Truth. Everybody's walking around feeling like there's something that makes them less than. And then I'd be in these real, alive conversations, and there was this electric current.
Yes, Suzanne. I plan on never watching part 2 or 3 or anything else this woman says ever again.
You know that feeling? Where just like, fuck, you take the masks off. Like the surge of just someone being seen, and it was truth, and it was magnetic, and it was irresistible. I felt lighter every time I owned all of me.
Yeah, I think it'll be worth it to go to her website at some point. We'll watch this for a bit longer, but then we'll go to her website and we'll read her about me, because maybe it'll give a little bit more clarity as to what her background is. For those of you that are only listening, this comment says she must have a preacher parent or grew up in an evangelical church, because her communication style is textbook. That's exactly what I'm thinking too. So I'm curious if she elaborates more on any of these pieces of the storyline that we've put together.
The less I had to hide, I had so much energy. I had so much energy, you guys, from this vulnerability experiment. I started to play. And so I didn't know that this was energetics at the time, but this is what energetics is. It's an understanding that your thoughts, feelings, intentions, vibration, perspective on something dictates the outcome of that thing.
Okay, so this is what is so dangerous to me. This is why I make content about this stuff, is that my qualm with the internet is that anyone can come on here and say anything. And if they speak articulately, they speak confidently, they have enough on-camera charisma, people are going to believe what they're saying, regardless of whether it's true or not. So that specific sentence that she just said, where she's talking about, I already forget because it's complete bullshit. Let's go back 1 second.
Everybody's walking around feeling like there's something that makes them less than. And then I'd be in these real, alive conversations, and there was this electric current. You know that feeling? Where just like, fuck, you take the masks off. Like the surge of just someone being seen, and it was truth, and it was magnetic, and it was irresistible. I felt lighter every time I owned all of me. The less I had to hide, I had so much energy. I had so much energy, you guys, from this vulnerability experiment. I started to play. And so I didn't know that this was energetics at the time.
Here we go, energetics. She's going to describe what energetics is.
But this is what energetics is. It's an understanding that your thoughts, feelings, intentions, vibration, perspective on something dictates the outcome of that thing.
So because she says that in this way, energetics is blah, 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 blah. People who are watching this that are already, quote unquote, drinking the Kool-Aid and see her as an authority are going to hear that, be like, oh my God, this lady is so smart. She knows what energetics is. What she's saying must be true. They sit through the rest of this hour and a half that's still left in this training. And then they want to pay her because they want to learn from her because she comes off as an authority. It's like you all sitting at home watching my videos, and then all of a sudden I'm like, now buy my course and I'm going to teach you how to not get scammed. Because I make these videos and I speak confidently and I speak like an authority in what a scammer is, you're going to be more susceptible to giving me money so that you don't get scammed. Would I ever do that? No. But I'm just saying that with the internet, we need to be careful to practice discernment so as not to fall prey to the people like this who do not have your best intentions in mind. They want to make it sound like they care about you. We're a family. We're all here to support each other. Da, 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 da. But at the end of the day, what she cares about is her bottom line. She cares about being able to close you at $25,000 for 6 months of coaching again and again and again and again, so that she can come on the internet and continue to brag about how she manifested all this money. And if you just copy what I do, you can do it too. It's fucking dangerous. Exactly. Erin says she changes personality so quickly here. Super, super scary if you ask me. Okay. Okay, my sound is low. It's weird because my sound is maxed out, so I'm not sure. Hold on. How can you hear me? The mic right in my face. I'm not sure. Maybe I need a new cable. It's showing. I don't know how to like turn it up. Definitely not that. Let me see. How is that? Good, bad, not good. Let me know. I can also turn her down a little bit, and then maybe that will equal things out a little bit.
And so when I would approach HSV as a victim, and I was like, oh, then people would be like, oh my God. And they'd tell me a really sad, scary story, and it'd amplify, and like my life mirrored what my energy around it. And then I started to play. And, you know, another volunteer at these festivals like asked for a sip of water. And I'd be like, yeah, sure. I have herpes, but don't worry, you won't get it. And they'd be like, wait, what? Like, what? Who even are you? And I'm like, you know, I'm just super fucking passionate about this. Like, I like truly like this is something so many people deal with, and it's something that like almost really like ruined my sense of self. And I'm just so passionate about breaking stigma. And they'd be like, do you want to hang out? Like, it was crazy. And I had this intuition that I had to go even bigger, because the more that I would do this, the more people would be like, there's something here. They're like, you should talk about, like, you should do something. They kept telling me that. And then every time I'd like close.
So I became a life coach. I mean, I have nothing against, you know, you get an STI, whatever. Why are we now using that as our credential to become a coach? Like, this might be the most unhinged thing we've seen on this channel yet.
Close my eyes for meditation and be like, start the podcast. You know, so I'm like, okay. So I decide before I tell the internet my deepest, darkest secret, I should probably do the thing that scares me the most. So I'm like, I'm going to go on this vulnerability project. It's episode 1 of my podcast. If you want to hear me like 5 years ago, voice shaking. And so I'm going to tell the people who it's scariest to tell. And if I can do this, I can do anything. I had an intuition that my growth was not going to come from avoiding. It was going to come from approaching the things that scare me the most. Because in life, what does growth come from? Being uncomfortable, being in the unknown, being willing to die and be reborn. And most people just wait for those things to happen to them. When you start to quantum leap, you start to go, what scares me? Go there. You walk into the fire of your own life and death portal. It's crazy, right? And you're like, okay, what scares me the most? Great. And by the end of it, telling all these guys that like gone on one date with, like made out with at a festival, thought was cute. I'm like, so can you meet? I'm like,
I am so confused about what this is teaching us about making $1 million. Again, the sales page said, I made $1.4 million in a month. I'm going to show you how to do it too. And now she spent an hour just talking about herself. What? It's her unique selling proposition. Yeah, you know what? She can get out of here with it. I'm just like, what is the point? If I'm watching this training, I'm thinking this lady is going to teach me how to grow my business. And then I have to sit for an hour while she just talks about herself and doesn't actually teach me anything. What a waste of my time. Okay, I'm going to skip ahead again. We'll go like 30 more minutes in.
It doesn't matter that this person doesn't like your stuff. It doesn't matter. Like, be the chill rocket ship. Okay, let things just slide off of you as you're moving really fast. You're just like, how can I surprise myself and others with how I respond to this situation? Like, and you just get better and better and better at this, right? You liberate yourselves from the opinions of others, of drama. This cannot be earning your attention. I will tell you, I have paid a lot to be in high-level masterminds. And one thing that I think men sometimes have, they get less emotional. They understand how to keep their eye on the prize. I think sometimes these brilliant women get in a room, and because it can be very painful and emotional when there are haters and there's things that happen, is that they get stuck.
Yes, because one thing that rings true about the coaching industry is anyone who provides any kind of criticism, whether it's a past client, another coach, a little dumb internet hater troll, it's all hate. It's not valid criticism ever. Anything negative equals hate. Write that down. You want to make sure you remember that one. That's like coaching 101.
And talking about haters and talking about the opinions of others and drama, and they get in the matrix. When I'm sitting in a room of people who have built multiple 7-figure, 8-figure businesses, and we don't know anything about our dreams, we don't know anything about each other's game plans. We could have been masterminding to take over the fucking world. There are literally hundreds of thousands of people who enjoy what you have, and it seems like the conversation keeps coming back. This cannot be earning our attention. Like, literally, do not take any more breath. This cannot be earning our attention, okay? We've got to liberate ourselves from the masculine paradigm. We love men, we love our mind, but we've got to see our mind as now a tool and stop trying to get somewhere else, okay? So what we are doing when we liberate ourselves is that we start to enter. Now we can enter creative space. Creative space. Who here, drop in the chat, is feeling like you're in your creative zone or you're ready for your creative space, or just like, I know that space. You live in that space. As heart-led, intuitive, creative, feminine beings, you have incredible power and intelligence beyond your mind. You're working with the unseen forces of intuition, creativity, higher power, energetics, vibration, feeling, all things you can't see. Okay? You create multisensory experiences beyond what I can explain. You are a multisensory experience beyond what I can explain. A good side.
Okay, we're not getting anything here. I'm losing my mind. I am so done with this training. Sorry, guys.
And it's not okay.
It's not okay. Okay, that was a big waste of my time. I want to go to this lady's website and see what she's got cooking up for us to look at. Oh my God, I'm so sorry I wasted everyone's hour and a half with that nonsense. I want her far away from my creative space. I think I lost literally half my brain cells watching that training. That was something else. Let me tell you. Okay, so this is the website. It says leadership and business coaching for heart-centered female entrepreneurs. Can someone please tell me in the chat, what does heart-centered mean? I see this so much, specifically in the coaching space. I've seen it since 2017, whenever I started watching coaching content. What does that really mean? Beyond just like a platitude, heart-centered entrepreneur. What does that mean? Someone in plain English, tell me what that means. And why can't we just say it in plain English? Why do we got to use word salad? Space Pastry says, not a waste when it's confirmed she's not worth more of my time. If you're watching this live stream and you are considering watching day 2 and 3, don't. Is it Living Brave on the wall behind her? You know what? Now that you say that, it might be, because I thought it said I'm, but I think that's the L, the I, the V, the I. So I think it is. It does say Living Brave. It's just the font is so, there's no spaces between the letters. It's really hard to see. Exactly. This comment says, she's one of those people who says so much, but actually says very little with all of them words. So true. So true. Fonts matter. So true. Okay. Speaking of fonts, Aaron, what do you feel about this? Liberation expression, femininity. This looks like it says femininity. For the woman who has never quite fit the mold, you deserve to wake up every day proud of the life you've designed and excited to work on your calling. Enter the Living Brave vortex. If you're bored by what's practical, seeking to grow authentically and at a fast pace, willing to break the rules and step fully into your voice, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm an 8-figure life artist, movement maker, and coach. What the fuck is a life artist? Again, why can't we just say what we mean? Why do we have to make up words that don't mean anything? For shame-slaying rock stars and entrepreneurial icons creating masterpiece lives and businesses they can't wait to wake up to every day. Blah, 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 blah. Where do I get to the origin story? She built Living Brave in 2019 by telling the truth on a podcast with a following of family and friends, opening up about her herpes status and no plan to monetize, just a mic, a mission to make even one person feel less alone. Look, I have no problem with this in particular. I think it's great that if someone is experiencing any kind of, I don't know, I want to say unique experience, but a lot of these things like aren't that unique. But whether it's, you know, an STI, some kind of chronic illness, you get an injury. I know I actually have a friend who is a content creator. She lost her arm in a boating accident when she was a teenager, and she like created a YouTube channel around being an amputee. You go through an experience, you want to share that experience with people now on the internet because that's where everyone shares everything. I don't have a problem with that. You want to build a platform, you know, creating a community of people who can all relate to your experience. Amazing. But when we take that experience, we then leverage it to become an expert. I'm assuming, again, please correct me if I'm wrong, but what I'm understanding is she gets an STI. She decides to become like an advocate for people with herpes. Amazing. Then uses that as her credential to become a life coach, and then becomes a business coach because she had a life coaching business. Is that correct? If that's the case, not a fan. 0 out of 10, do not recommend. Share your experience online if you want to. I know in the comments earlier, someone said we're in like an oversharing epidemic, if you will. Agreed. But if that's your prerogative, go ahead. But if you're taking that and then using it to get money out of people, that's when I'm like, I don't want a part of that. I'm all for sharing lived experiences, but using it to monetize and capitalize off other people, that's where I draw the line. Life artist equals con artist. You know what? You might be onto something there. Exactly. Nothing is quite as empowering about monetizing and capitalizing off your tragedy with a $10,000 per month course. Exactly. Also a great question. Ashley says, writing in third person when it's a personal brand. Curious. She unleashes, blah, 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 blah. 2 years later, Living Brave had exploded into a multi-million-dollar movement. Okay, so there isn't really an explanation of like, she started a podcast, but then what? She started a podcast and then built $1 million business. Okay, $1 million business doing what? And now she's a coach for coaches, it looks like. This is her mastermind. 12-month inner circle, all access, transformational business coaching mastermind. It's like, hey, ChatGPT, write me a description using every buzzword you could ever find. Inner Circle All Access Transformational Business Coaching. 8-figure rapid success mentor. So she is a business coach now, or is she a life coach? I don't even understand. This is so confusing. Oh my God, I can't with these fonts. The bold, underline, big font, little font. Like, have you heard of headers? This reminds me of the very first website I ever designed. I didn't understand in font design, like if you're familiar with building a website, there's like H1, H2, H3, H4. I didn't realize that that meant like it was a header of a different size. And so I just liked the look. It's probably similar to this actually back then, where it was like big font, little font, whatever. And it's just like, if anyone who had visual impairment ever looked at my website, they would be having a nightmare trying to figure out what's written there, because like this is not AOTA compliant, I will tell you. This is bad. Basic is better, especially when it comes to text on a website, let me just say. Also, if you're going to do like big blobs of text like this, left align it. Make it easy for me to read. That's my request for today. Sorry. I am getting over a cold, if you weren't here at the beginning to hear that. That's why I keep coughing. Space Pastry says, feel the energy of the fonts. You know what? It's hard to when they're giving me a headache. She speaks like a web page that has no headers. Okay. So I don't really understand what she's selling, to be honest. An inner circle, blah, blah, blah. Created the vortex for the women who knows that chill rocket ship style rapid growth in business. Ugh, so much fucking word salad. I can't even, just say what you're selling. Tell me what you're selling. I don't understand. This is wild. Oh my God. So much. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. The Vortex will teach you the living brave way to master the art of feminine business and fall in love with the whole picture of your life so you can get paid millions to be yourself, come home to your core confidence, and gain a truly heart-centered and innovative approach to thriving as a whole woman that actually works long-term with less success. This is the longest run-on sentence I've ever read. With less effort, by allowing yourself to channel your natural strengths and stretch your capacity to feel good and have fun again. Woohoo! Oh, hi, buddy. What's up? Are you getting tired too, bubbies? I know. So much BS. I said, I'm so over it. Yes, I am. Just so bored. We need to see these shill testimonials. Yeah, I kind of paused there because there's a woman. I'm not going to name which one. One of these people in this section here was getting dragged on Threads a couple weeks ago for making a comment about, I don't even remember. It was something about online courses. And then something that basically pointed out that like she's made her money by being a scammer, and people were calling her out being like, yo, I can try and find it actually. Let me see. Like I gotta do this for the plot. Give me a second. But it was like one of those situations where a coach says something thinking that like they have a really hot take, and then everyone just like, it's like, this doesn't hit the way you think it did. And now I can't entirely remember what it was specifically, but I remember reading it being like, ooh, yikes. And that's why her name sticks out to me. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, it might have got deleted. I guess she got upset. Yeah, it looks like it got deleted. But yeah, it was something to the effect of like, fuck, I don't even remember. Something about, making an online course. You can take any skill and turn it into an online course. That wasn't it exactly, but something to that effect. And then people were like, actually, you shouldn't be doing that. If you built a like multi-million-dollar business doing that, you probably shouldn't be bragging about it on the internet. But okay. And I guess she got so much feedback, she deleted it. So love to see that. And it's now, it all makes sense is what I'm saying, because she's in this woman's downline. So I'm like, okay, now I understand what's going on here. All these people are related. Like I always say, the coaching industry, very incestuous. Does she have a connection to the alpha femme? I'm trying to understand why she has clients. Yes. So somebody else in the comments said that she is alpha femme downline. So for those of you that aren't familiar, alpha femme is Melanie Anlayer, one of the more infamous coaches at the top of the pyramid. And I believe this woman is a client of hers. So the branding and marketing also makes sense if you keep that in mind. She and the Times Square lady should join forces. So same downline. So we have Alpha Femme at the top. Then we have this lady, and we have Gingy, and then we have Times Square lady under them. So they all come from the same upline, James. So it's all connecting the dots. It's all making sense. We all party with the same people. We all get the same results. We all look the same, sound the same, etc., etc. I wouldn't be surprised, actually, if this woman from today ends up in Times Square as well, since that seems to be the thing that's being taught. Okay, continuing on, this is what we get. Oh, the values. We always love to see this. Your year of mentorship inside the Vortex includes $36,000 in mentorship value, $18,000 in workshops. All of these insane numbers. Now, I want you to keep in mind, the FTC changed the laws and stated, or maybe they didn't. Maybe I'm thinking of Suzanne. I might be conflating two different things. Suzanne, if you're still here, let me know. In Australia, is it a law that you can't put the price of something unless you've sold it for that price? Maybe it was you that told me that. I thought it was an FTC thing, but I might be confusing two things in my brain. Please confirm or deny if you're here. But there's somewhere in the world where if you're going to say something is worth a certain value, you have to have actually sold it at that price before you can say that it's worth that. You know what? That might actually be worth me looking into. Let me write that down. Note to self. I always find that super interesting because how often do we see, like a crappy PDF thrown together on Canva? Value $297. It's like, honey, I don't think your 5-page PDF is worth $300, but thank you. So I would love to see them crack down on this. I have not profiled Alpha Femme because she is notorious for trying to sue people. So, and she's also in Canada. So I'm a little bit nervous around that. But there's lots of good stuff about her on Reddit if you're interested. Just look up MAL. That's her other name that people will write about online. Okay, so then this is where she goes over the value of all the things you're going to get. My favorite part, a front row seat to Living Brave Live. What is with all these people now hosting live events? I guess it really helps to, create that cult-like environment. It's like the MLM companies that host their yearly retreats. Same idea. If we can all get into a room together, we can, drink the Kool-Aid and get sucked further into the cult. Yikes. The best community and sisterhood on the internet. A full year access to daily coaching podcasts. Oh my God, I would not want to listen to this lady every day. Absolutely not. When you thought, oh my God, this is so hard to read. When you thought we were done, You also get an all access ticket to the entire Vortex Vault. So what? All of your old content? Yep. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Again, oh my God, $160,000 value. No way. Blech. And it's $17,000 a year. Cool, 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 cool. Imagine paying $17,000 for a group coaching experience. That is crazy to me, allegedly, in my opinion. Okay, and then you get event. Wait, what is this? Sorry, I'm like scrolling too fast and I can't even keep up. I see, that's an upgrade. So you can either pay $17,000 a year, or you can upgrade to get the Vortex experience. And then that's where you get to go to all these events. So there's a mastermind event in Denver, which I think someone in the chat said is where this person is from. Then you get to go to a 3 to 4 day luxury retreat in Paradise. And that's $30,000 a year. Or you can go on a payment plan. So love to see that. And this is Cult Speak. In the Vortex, your family and get the works. Ugh. Yuck. Don't like that. And then we got more testimonials and more information about the lady. And this is the longest sales page I've ever seen in my life. And that's the end. We made it to the end. So nowhere on this am I seeing, results are not guaranteed, results are not typical, blah, 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 blah. So that's a red flag. Add it to the list. And here we go. Is there a money back guarantee or refunds? When will I see my financial ROI? Can I try it for a few months or 6 months instead of a year? What if I have debt? If you're asking this question, the Vortex probably isn't a good fit for you, and I recommend starting with something smaller or working your commitment to yourself and your dreams. The Vortex is a year-long commitment, with many women joining for 2, 3, and 4 years. It's impossible to not see an ROI in the Vortex. What? Not just financially, but as a whole woman, you decide to leverage the investment. Your ROI is your responsibility, so you need to commit, and it's not my problem if you don't get a return. Showing up to the calls with questions and video on, authentically engaging, la-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, are all fail-proof ways to ensure you fly. By the time you get to the Vortex, there's no plan B. You can't imagine a life where you don't make it happen. Being scared isn't a reason not to. It's the reason you'll be stuck like 99% of people who never go for it. This is so manipulative. I want to paste this into ChatGPT and ask it, why does this feel so manipulative? Now, I just want to touch on the debt part before I do that. I don't do money back guarantees because if you don't see this work, it's beyond the money. This work isn't for you. I see debt as an empowered choice to create an opportunity for yourself and a future for yourself that would be otherwise impossible. Debt is a normal tool entrepreneurs use to invest in their vision, and few visionaries build something significant without debt. That is not true. I have many friends who have built businesses completely by bootstrapping, myself included. I did not need debt to start my business. That is such an incorrect statement that she's using to manipulate you, allegedly, in my opinion, to get you to buy. If you're afraid of debt or have very narrow short-term horizons on big investments like masterminds, it's wise to work on money mindset. You don't need to gaslight yourself into going into debt just because this woman says that's what you need to do. Let me just make that clear. Okay, let me go to ChatGPT for a second. Please explain why this feels so manipulative. Point out the red flags. ChatGPT is thinking, this text is dripping with manipulation, emotional, psychological, and financial. Let's break down the red flags. Yes, let's. 1, If you're asking questions, you're not ready. So to refresh your memories, the first statement here says, if you're asking this question, the vortex isn't a good fit. And the question was, is there a money back guarantee? So if you're already thinking about refunds, this is not the program for you. And to that, ChatGPT says, this dismisses curiosity or hesitation as a flaw in you rather than a legitimate desire to invest $5,000 to $50,000. It frames critical thinking as weakness, trying to silence scrutiny. How many times have we seen that? How many times have we seen that if you don't invest in my program, it's because you just don't believe in yourself enough? No, that's bullshit. That person wants your money. Again, always ask, what is their motivation to get me to believe that what they're saying is true? And if the answer is so that they can get paid, that's a red fucking flag. Okay? Okay. Glad we cleared that up. Next, it says pathologizing doubt. Being scared isn't a reason not to. It's why you're stuck like 99% of other people. Fear is normal when considering a huge decision, like paying $30,000 for a mastermind. This twists fear into a personal failure, implying that if you don't act despite it, you're small-minded, lazy, or average. Isn't that true? Love bombing and inflated promises. You'll see testimonials of 10 times growth, clients who saved their marriage, rebuilt their lives, and fell in love again. These anecdotal success stories are emotionally loaded and intentionally overwhelming. They imply these results are common, even though no real evidence is provided. It's called miracle marketing. Oh my God, isn't that true? What did I say earlier? Oh, we're creating this love bombing environment where we're all family and we're all in it together. No, bullshit. Wrong. Shaming legitimate caution. My close proximity work isn't great for women who are constantly 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Instead of addressing valid financial concerns or risks, it casts doubt as a personal weakness. It shames caution when in reality, caution is wise. Romanticizing debt. This glorifies debt without addressing the material risks or consequences. It encourages financial overextension by wrapping it in a cape of visionary courage. ChatGPT does not like girl boss antics. That is true. Especially not my ChatGPT, because I have trained it to see that these people are fucking grifters. Bubba quit. Bubba's so over it. So true. So true. Okay, there's a couple more here. Next red flag is no refunds, but with blame. So no, I don't do money back guarantees, because if you don't see this work, it's beyond the money. This isn't for you. She uses spiritual bypassing to justify not offering refunds. It's framed as a virtue rather than a risk transfer entirely to the client. If it doesn't work, it's your fault for not being ready. Gatekeeping success. Leaders see fear as green light. The mind will always try to keep you small. How many times have we heard that? It's all in your mindset. Ugh. This builds a false binary. Either you ignore your gut and join to become a leader, or you stay cautious and remain small. That's not coaching. That's psychological pressure. Honestly, guys, here's what I want you to do. The next time you're on a coach's sales page and you're thinking, should I buy this program? Should I invest in this program? Should I give this person my money? Take the sales page, copy and paste it into ChatGPT and say, hey there, buddy old pal. Could you please tell me if this is manipulative, what the red flags are? This is the outcome I'm trying to achieve, ABCD. Do you think that this offer will help me get there? And let's just see what ChatGPT has to tell you. That's my advice for you for today. It also mentions the blame the client positioning. If you fail, it's not because the program lacked structure, clarity, or value. It's your fault. This sets up a no-fault business model where they keep your money regardless of your outcome. This kind of language is not coaching. It's indoctrination disguised as empowerment. Hello, that's what I've been saying. It confuses confidence with recklessness, spiritualizes risky financial behavior, and positions any doubt as a character flaw. If someone won't let you ask questions, sleep on it, or say no without emotional punishment, run. Let me know if you want help turning this into a carousel post. This is prime content. Thank you, ChatGPT. I appreciate that. Okay. Let me just catch up on your comments. ChatGPT must be a broke hater loser. You know what? I think they are. And that's okay because so am I. Interesting. Three Flamingo says this coaching MLM line is big in creating backlinks amongst downlines to boost SEO. Interesting. For those of you that aren't familiar, backlinks, and correct me if I'm wrong, backlinks are when like one website links to another. So I guess these people are all like linking to each other's websites to try and boost their validity. That's crazy. You've groomed your robot well. I really have, you know? Me and ChatGPT, we are besties, and we are not here for the bullshit. I'll tell you that for free. If you're new here, I use ChatGPT to write a lot of the descriptions for my YouTube videos. So I will often like write a full video script and then put the entire script into YouTube. So ChatGPT knows how I feel about the coaching industry and knows my thoughts and opinions. So I don't want to take credit for ChatGPT's response here, but it definitely is something I would have said. I'm just kidding. Very, very interesting. She also uses keywords like scam in her headlines and copy to catch grifters, grift hunters like us. She is an inner circle grifter. Very interesting. I don't think my YouTube channel is where you want to end up, though, if you're looking to make a lot of money. Anyway, I digress. All right, friends, we have reached almost the 2-hour mark, and I'm getting warm. You can tell my cheeks are getting rosy. It's getting hot in this room. Time to open the window. Honestly, go outside, get some fresh air. You guys should probably do that too. Show us Reddit comment sections if this coach has them. Okay, before we get off, I will do that. I think maybe. I don't know if she's been written about on Reddit. Oh, yes, many times. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. We got time for a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We'll start at the top. Here we go. I invested in this woman's Vortex, so the program we just looked at, back in August, $5,000 down and then $1,500 each month after, and I feel like everything is just vibes, no substance. I told her I needed to pause, but they said I had to pay the remaining balance, and then she can pause my access to keep my account in good standing. I don't like not making my commitments. I want to stay on good terms, but this just feels not good. Would she actually take me to collections or anything similar? I can't stand the whispery dance party sexualized business and didn't realize how much of that actually existed. The Vortex has zero true depth and business knowledge. Now, one important thing to keep in mind when you are reading stuff on Reddit, especially with the majority of accounts being completely anonymous, you don't necessarily know that what is shared on here is true. So just keep that in the back of your mind as you read things. Like, obviously, I want to assume that what people are sharing is legitimate, but we don't necessarily know that to be true. I will drop this in the comments if anyone wants to like read through the replies to that. We can go to this one. Okay, so this one's interesting. She's fabricating her numbers, allegedly. Don't get me started on the fact that she is only reflecting gross revenue. True. Considering she pays $2 to $3 million to scam artists like... Okay, so apparently she's getting coached from Alpha Femme and XO Gingy, according to this post. Again, is it true? I don't know. I don't follow these people, so I really have no idea. But her former assistant and I are close, and she told me that this woman is nowhere near the numbers she reported last year. I personally know she has received a combined $1.2 million in chargebacks from services not delivered or services not delivered, period. Delivered as promised, or not delivered at all. Curious if anyone can confirm the number of active members in there. I left about 13 months ago, and I'm happy I did. My business grew tremendously after I left. She blocked me when I asked for receipts. She started out as a herpes life coach. She is Delulu, but they keep paying her. Again, I'll drop this one too if anyone wants to read it. Super interesting to me though. One thing I will say that I have seen many coaches do, and I'm not saying that this woman does it, but I wouldn't be surprised if she did, because many people in that like downline do, is they will claim that they made, let's say, $1 million $1 million revenue in their business based on contracts they have signed. So let's just say I have 10 clients, each agreeing to eventually pay me $10,000, and they're going to pay me $1,000 a month for a year. While I will only make $1,000 from each of those 10 people this month, therefore $10,000, I'm going to go on Instagram and say that I made $100,000 because the contract signed would equal $100,000, but the cash I've collected is only $10K. So if you ever see coaches saying like, my business made X, but I made X in cash, the cash is like the money people actually paid them. And the other number is what people have agreed to pay them. So it's not actualized or a realized income yet. So I don't know I don't know that that's what's happening here, but it could be. If she's saying, I made $8 million, but it's because she closed so many contracts. My battery's about to die. I promise that's on my list of upgrades to make soon, is to get a dummy battery for my camera so that we don't have to keep changing out the battery every 2 hours. More in chargebacks than I've made in a decade. You and I both. I don't get how you can still operate the way you are after 1.5 million in chargebacks. That's actually super interesting to me. So a little insider info to my business. I sell a $5 bookkeeping template that people can buy. And I've been selling that for, I don't know, about 2 years now, almost 3 years. And the weirdest thing has happened. So it's $5 Canadian. So if you're in the US, it's like $3 because the exchange rate is so bad. But in the last 2 months, so I've sold, I don't even know at this point, thousands of copies of this spreadsheet. No issues. In the last 2 months, I've received 2 chargebacks from people for this product. Again, it's $5. If you want your money back, email me. I'll give you your money back. I was freaking out. My one friend is a lawyer. I'm messaging her. Like, am I going to get banned on Stripe for these 2 $5 chargebacks? Long story short, I provided the evidence. It's a digital product. Obviously, they received it. They can't say they didn't. Stripe ended up siding with me, which is rare. Usually they don't side with the seller. They side with the buyer. But anyway, I digress. I was nervous that $10 in chargebacks was going to get my Stripe account banned. I cannot imagine $1.2 million in chargebacks. That's crazy. And this is when it comes back to this conversation of, do these people know that they are grifters? And we talk about this every week, and I still don't have an answer. It's like, okay, I can understand you're in the industry, you're drinking the Kool-Aid, you really believe that you are doing good for people and that you are helping them improve their lives. Sure. There has to come a point, particularly when you're receiving $1.2 million allegedly in chargebacks, that you would have to ask yourself, is the service I'm providing actually worth the price that I'm charging people? Are my clients happy with the results they're getting? Is what I'm offering of value to anyone, any value? Am I a grifter? I just think there has to be a point where the signals start going off in your brain and you're like, what am I doing here? Unless you're morally bankrupt and you genuinely just don't care. I don't know. I don't get it. The credit card will flag you with that much of a chargeback. Yeah, like Stripe will actually ban your account if you get too many chargebacks. So I'm surprised that that hasn't happened to this individual, if that's true. Exactly. I feel like she should have asked questions after the first 200K in chargebacks, much less 7 figures. I would think the first one, literally, when the first person charged me this $5 chargeback, I was immediately emailing her being like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Did you not receive the product? I can send it to you right now. Like if I'm charging someone $20,000 for my mastermind and they're filing a chargeback, I sure as shit would be emailing them trying to right whatever the situation was, right? Like, so crazy to me. Yeah, people who worry they might be grifters probably aren't in the first place. See, and that's kind of where I tend to disagree, because I know many people who are, and like myself included, who are in the coaching industry or were in the coaching industry and really were indoctrinated into this idea that like you are helping people by charging them for your services, blah, 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 blah. Like when I worked with coaching clients, should I have been doing that? No, I was 26 and had no fucking idea what I was doing. But people still paid me. Not a ton of people, but some people. And so it's like, I didn't really realize the potential harm in what I was doing at that time. And now in retrospect, obviously I can be like, that was fucking stupid. Why did I do that? But I genuinely don't think that the majority of people who fall prey to this industry and really like invest all this money and work with these clients and da-da-da-da-da, genuinely, I think that they believe they are doing good work and that they don't see it as a grift. I just am of the belief that there has to reach a certain point where you have enough dissatisfied clients, you have enough chargebacks, enough negative feedback that you would have to ask yourself or want to ask yourself, is what I'm doing actually okay? Is there something weird about this? Like I had that moment with that coach that wanted me to like charge people to teach something I had no right charging. And for me, that was kind of the light bulb moment to be like, wait a minute. Let me question my entire existence and everything I've learned up until this point. And I just think like, don't other people have that moment where they start to like wake up and think, what the fuck is happening here? Or do they just go, shh, 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 I'm making money, so I don't care. And I tend to believe that like people who are at the top of the pyramid, that's what they're doing. They're letting the cognitive dissonance, shh, 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 and they're just making that money. I would say that being in a coaching pyramid is different from starting a grift from scratch because you are in a culture that says it's good. But that's what the pyramid is. The pyramid is everyone saying, this is okay, this is acceptable, this is the behavior we're all adopting, and it's normalized. And so I can absolutely see how people would fall into that. I'm skeptical to believe that they can stay in it and not see what's happening. Amy says, just rent a Ferrari from your coaching money about how to be rich, even though you only made money from your courses, like the video I sent you. Exactly. It reminds me of this.
You can buy status by just like spending money to be around these people and then just being a cool person.
Just spend money to be around cool people and then just be a cool person. And that's how you're going to get rich. 100%. Katrina says, or Katarina, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. She says, exactly, I will leave my job with that much chargebacks. It ain't worth it. Yeah, and this is fair. To me, the amount people spend on coaching sounds literally insane because I don't personally know anyone that would do it. And that's what I'm saying is like, objectively, to anyone outside the industry, it's wild. Me now, I would never spend $4,500 on a coach. But when I was in it, I could not see any of those red flags. I was just like so desperate to find someone to help me that it was like, let's go have my money. And then I'm going to get money from other people. Even though I have no right to be charging people money, I'm going to charge them money anyway. Exactly. Asking questions isn't allowed, so I doubt self-reflection is either. Very true. If you have any doubts, we don't, that's negative. You're sounding like a hater, so you should probably don't ask questions. It's fine. Just take her money. Three Flamingos says, I agree. Some are signaling that they are not the grifter coaches, yet still don't get it. So there are coaches with intention to be good, but they are still doing bad things. 100%. We see that all the time. I often see it on like threads. A lot of people that I'm just like, what are you doing? But they don't know any better. They're just following their upline. Like, okay, sure. Just be a cheerleader if you want to be a part of a pyramid. Exactly. If you want to rah-rah good vibes and build a literal pyramid, just become a cheerleader. Exactly. Don't doubt. Just listen to another personal development podcast. Brainwash yourself. You know what? You're starting to feel bad about your business. Sounds like you could use a little bit of positive thinking.
Now, easy, you can just learn how to clear them off and be literally fine.
Just clear off that negative energy, guys, and you'll be literally fine, okay? Have we got a red flag checklist for grifting coaches? No, but I'm thinking about building a coaching bingo card, which would be essentially the same idea. And every time they do something on the bingo card and we get a line, we got to do something. I don't know. I don't drink, but we could, chug a glass of water or something. Those of you that do partake in alcohol could take a shot. All right, friends. For real, I think I'm going to log off here. I need to blow my nose so bad. Hopefully by next week, I am not so full of phlegm. I don't even know. Can you guys hear it in my voice? I feel like I'm like a mouth breather because I can't breathe out of my nose. It's like I jumped into a pool without plugging my nose. That's what it feels like right now. Most important question is, did we ever find out the recipe? Unfortunately, no. We would probably have to sit through another 6 hours of this brain-melting brain-gasm training. So I'm going to take a pass on that. But if anyone else wants to subject themselves, let me know. I can send you the links and you can report back. Thanks so much for joining me here. I have one last thing to say to you before we jump off, and it's this.
I'm always baffled when people don't have a life coach or don't want one. I'm like, what? It's the most amazing thing ever.
Go get a life coach if you don't have one. It's the most amazing thing ever. Thank you so much for jumping on. Appreciate you all. Take care. Comb your hair. I'm going to go join Bubba here on the bed, I think. Take a little nippity nap, if you know what I'm saying. I'll see you in my next video. Okay? Toodaloo. Bye-bye.